out here. Tempting as it may be, though, among the red rocks, one thing we won't be doing is flying low. Too often that leads to a tragedy, and we've seen too much of that recently. Warren?
Yeah, sadly that's true, Tom. You know, 3 Icon A5 accidents this year, 2 of them fatal. And it's a serious blow to the reputation of an aircraft that many view as exceptionally well designed with a host of safety features not seen before in light sport aircraft. Now, these accidents prompted Air Safety Institute Executive Director Richard McSpadden to write an unusual online commentary. I talked to Richard about it earlier today.
There's enough information out there from eyewitness accounts and from video that's been put out on the web that we can see the manner in which the airplane was being flown. Now, we don't know the probable cause, and we should wait and see what that actually is. The commentary was more directed to the manner in which the airplane was being flown and the focus on low altitude flying, which I think will be helpful to GA pilots.
We should point out that in a previous life you were the commander of the Thunderbird, so you know something about low altitude flight and pushing the aircraft to the edges of its envelope. So what are some of the things that we should be thinking about?
Yeah. There's when you get down into the low altitude environment, it's there are some dynamics that need to constantly be a part of your subconscious. And as you mentioned, fortunately for me, I was trained in that, extremely well trained for that. And so there are a couple of things that you want to constantly keep in mind when you're at low altitude. One is what we call time to impact. And that is, once you get at lower altitude, the lower you go and the faster you go, the more reduced your time to impact should you have any kind of anomaly, excessive bank angle, pitch angle, a distraction, or whatever. So you want to constantly be aware that your time to impact will be measured in seconds. So your processing needs to happen a lot faster. And also, you need a lot more focus on just flying the airplane and avoiding terrain. So that's principle number one. Principle number two is, and kind of in a response to that, anytime you're in the low altitude environment, your response to anything unusual is climb to cope. So if you're in the low altitude environment and you're speeding along, looking at terrain or flying over water, and anything happens that's out of the unusual, gets your attention, you drop a pencil, a bird flies by that you weren't expecting, you hear kind of a skip in your engine. Your first reaction is not to take a look at that and see what it was. Your first reaction has to be climb to cope.